Hi, Andrew here. We're in front of the Shubert Theater about to see Matilda.
Based upon the Roald Dahl book, which is much beloved.
Now, this musical, new musical, swept the British Tony Awards, the Oliver Awards?
The
Olivier Awards.
Olivier.
I think it won more than any other show in the history of mankind. So this is a huge hit coming from England. We've heard really mixed reports about this. Some people love this, yes.
I've heard only good things.
Really?
It's about a girl. I don't think I actually read this.
I've heard that it's very dark, and that it's sinister, and that it's,
Is it Dickensian?
It's Dickens, maybe, I don't know. Matilda, 2.5 hours. We'll see you at the intermission. So we're at intermission at Matilda, and the story so far...
A very gifted, bright young child is born into a horrible world full of terrible adults that abuse their authority. She is helped by a solitary school teacher, a single bastion of good in this adult world of depravity.
This show is so British, it reminds me of Tommy, the rock opera for kids. Normally on stage the kids are kid-like and they're cringeworthy, but these kids are not kids, they're like grown-ups.
These are legit kids.
I am enjoying it more than I thought I would. The music, the plot, everything, the costumes.
I have to say, for a show about the wonders of creativity, that the set design seems to harp upon the same central motif a bit much for my taste. They do some clever things with it, but really, does everything need to look like a Scrabble board? I don't know. Leslie Margarita does an amazing Technicolor Amy Winehouse as Mrs. Wormwood. Gabriel Ebert does a fantastic level of Jim Carrey-esque physicality.
So far, this is a really fun show. My one question is it for children?
Rounding out the rest of the cast, Bertie Carvel brings Miss Trunchbull, the villain of the piece, to life the way that I imagine possibly a medieval drag queen would do a Chloe Sevigny impersonation.
Yes.
Wasn't fully invested in the show until he made his appearance.
That's true. At first I was like, is this what the hype is about? Only until she enters, or he enters, does it really start to kick in, and I can't wait for the second act.
And as much as I dislike breaking the fourth wall and people running around in the audience, every time Mrs. Trunchbull walks down the aisle past us,
I'm scared.
I'm excited, I'm terrified, and titillated.
Let's go back inside for the second act of Matilda. There are tons of kids at this show.
This is a children's show, but speaking as a full grown-ass man, I got scared. And I also was incredibly moved. There's some very intense adult themes here. It's like if Monty Python did an episode of The Twilight Zone. It's not slight. It's a very intense experience, and by the end of the show, they've literally pulled out all the stops and used almost every theatrical trick known to man.
I would say the music's not just good, it's great.
Bertie Carvel, as the evil headmistress, smolders in his villainy in a very restrained manner. Oh, those are the kids.
Oh.
I've never been so starstruck by such a pint-sized star.
The kids were really amazing in the show. And guess what? We don't like kids to begin with, so that says a lot.
For the grown-up kid and for the childish grown-up, I don't think you can go wrong with this. Green light from me.
Green light for me as well. Matilda at the Shubert Theater on Broadway. 2 green lights.
Matilda is magic.
That's your tagline.
Matilda is magic.